and welcome to PlayStation Grenade. When the Chapter 2 Season 2 event ended, named The Device, we were left so many questions, and only a few days later, the new season began and all those thoughts fell out of sight, out of mind. Now we have time to think. We're going back to see every moment Agent Jonesy was watching us in order to piece together what will happen next. Can we uncover Jonesy's plan? Slap code ADAMARU in the store to support this kind of content and think about subscribing. Let's do this. Agent John Jones wasn't revealed until 139 weeks after Battle Royale began. 973 days after we all started playing this game mode. But the thing is, we already know Jonesy and everything he's been through. And now, with thanks to many of you guys, we have 4 story theories to unlock the truth. The Watcher concept, the Matrix Enigma, the Vindertech conundrum, and the multiverse theory. The most simple explanation to the reveal of John Jones is explained by the files on his desk and the actions on his monitor. Agent Jonesy is watching us and always has been. Let's take a trip down memory lane to prove it. You ready for some nostalgia? Back on September 20th, 2017, way before we understood the importance of this game, the first character we saw pop their glider in close-up was none other than Jonesy, who went on a shotgun rampage, but let's not focus on that. Jonesy, along with Ramirez, was the first skin to have a variant in the form of the Skull Trooper, and when 50-50 was revealed, Jonesy was the one who shot first. We could call these coincidences, as there were only 8 skins back then, but he continued to pop up season after season. When the meteor crash landed in season 4, Jonesy, dressed as a dinosaur, was there. Who grabbed the first ever Infinity Gauntlet? Jonesy. Moving on to season 6, who watched Kevin the Cube raise a house into the air and didn't bat an eyelid? Jonesy munching on popcorn. Jonesy has been duplicated and altered many times over the years, but he remains present throughout everything, simply watching us. Going back to present day, and in Jonesy's office, this is all backed up. It's as if he's watching us on a monitor and collecting the data, just like the Watcher in the Marvel universe, watching and recording, but never interfering. The problem with that theory is that Jonesy did interfere with the world, which leads us to our second theory, and my personal favourite. The Matrix Enigma. Something from the real world has somehow made it into the digital world of Fortnite. Let me explain. I'm taking great inspiration from the movie The Matrix for this one. If you haven't seen it, humans plug into the Matrix kinda like a virtual reality with all the physics of the real world. Gravity is just how you expect it to be. But by being aware of the Matrix's rules, you can bend them and break them. Impossible jumps can be made. Superhuman reactions are witnessed regularly. In the movie, a program becomes sentient and tries to break out of the Matrix, kinda like Midas did last season. But this rabbit hole goes much deeper. So we've established Agent Jonesy is watching our every move from his lush office. In a video back in 2018, I talked about the Fortnite world being a simulation, a loop in time which we continue to return to. Now, in 2020, this is widely accepted as true, as canon of Fortnite. So how does it tie to the Matrix? Well, here's the first thing. The design of Agent Jonesy is highly similar to that of Agent Smith in the Matrix, a man tasked with destroying external factors in the Matrix. And look, their offices are quite similar too. Agent Smith, just like Jonesy, can take the form of any avatar they choose in the world. But something happened when he faced the hero of the movie, Keanu Reeves. Hang on, we've got Keanu skins in Fortnite already. Every time Agent Smith replicated himself, just like Jonesy, something was copied over from the real world and into the simulation program. Shared memories were now possible because of all his meddling. As proof for this, we simply need to look at Bunker Jonesy. Back when the lava flew and we were forced to hide in bunkers, Jonesy made the decision to consume Peely to survive. But remember how Peely was created? Another Jonesy clone. This was the catalyst that made the connection between Jonesy's avatar in-game and the real John Jones outside. Memories began to be transferred to Bunker Jonesy. During this time, locked in the dark digital world, Jonesy began to see visions and painted them on the only canvas he had, a wall. Things he could never retain from a single loop, memories he couldn't explain, and future events that were impossible to predict. He saw the creation of the mech, he foresaw the vault. The tapestry he created here included so much history, but also clues to the future. The desert island, he foresaw the season of the flood, and even predicted the flare gun's inclusion. But whose memories and whose plans were these? From all this evidence, it's clear to see in-game Jonesy is beginning to connect with the real man, Agent Jonesy, John Jones. Back in his office, we could surmise John Jones is a programmer maybe, watching over the world with his co-workers. And his co-workers so happen to be Renegade, Spitfire, Ramirez, Wildcat, Hawk, Banshee and Headhunter, the original developers all in digital form, as playable characters in the world. Along the way, other programmers joined the simulation team and those avatars were added to the game. Have we now seen proof that the programmers connected to Fortnite are unaware that this is a two-way street, and every time they log online, the characters in-game are becoming self-aware? Can you hear me? The biggest example of this is probably Midas last season. Let's use him as a test case. Following the rupture of the Nexus Point and the breaking of the first loop, the new world had us fighting for Ego or Alter, for Ghost or Shadow. This continued into the next season, but Midas had far bigger plans. He was somehow aware of the past and knew his time in this world would be short, and ultimately decided to try to break free. Again, just like Agent Smith. Midas tried to open the connection to the real world. 3 times we ventured forward, but each time we were dragged back in. The connection wasn't strong enough, and Midas was deleted from existence. A glitch in the program. But his actions have lasting effects. We are now all aware of the outside world, and over the next season, we must try and get back there. Midas's bond with Jules looks to be the key to the real world, so we'll have to wait and see. But we must remember one thing, our final visit to the real world gave us the ability to hear. But once we were sucked back into the Fortnite world, those words became gibberish again, and the cycle restarted.
Wait. Can you hear me? Hear me?
Will this be our only chance to save the world we live in and get the answers we deserve? Or will each live event tell us more about the puppet master, Agent Jonesy? A story theory we've had for almost 2 years now, and remains an excellent theory, especially after what happened in Chapter 1, the Dr. Vinderman theory. If you've played Save the World, this is the theory you likely already know. Save the World is a story in which 99% of the world have been replaced with zombie-like husks, hunting down the last remaining human strongholds. In that story, we follow the work of Dr. Vinderman, a brilliant scientist who perished before we ever met him. Over months of playing, we finally spoke to him via artificial intelligence, and were told of his plans to prepare the world for survival. Then, we heard nothing. We waited some more, but Dr. Vinderman was no more. Well, that was until the visitor spoke in Chapter 1.
When I hear this again, will it help me remember? Or once looped, will I be just as muted as the others?
The visitor told us about the loop and let us know that we are stuck, our memories wiped from existence. The realization that the visitor and Dr. Vinderman have the same voice is testament to why we never found out how the doc died in Save the World. It's because he isn't dead. He's stuck in the loop with us all. Dr. Vinderman is desperately attempting to free us from this simulation, and now we have witnessed Agent Jonesy, we can see that he is the bad guy here, attempting to keep Dr. Vinderman locked away as a rival company takes control in the real world, essentially setting the agents of Ego against Vindertech. Jonesy repeatedly stopped us from breaking the cycle by increasing his efforts to distract us with boss fights, with marauder pods and natural disasters, keeping us all from finding the identity of the Seven and the importance of Penny. Okay, that last bit is just for me and Team Thick, but the point still stands. It appears the bunker is the key to this story theory, and there could be a twist in the tale if those doors ever open. And always remember, the Ego logo we see on Jonesy's desk is simply the bunker rotated. So by now I've given you 3 potential theories. Is any right? Do you agree with any? Well, here's one more to consider before we finish. The multiverse. If comic books have taught us anything, it's that there are multiple versions of the world we live in, created with different eventualities. A cosmic construct, they call it, of what ifs and buts. For example, one world never saw the creation of Kevin, and another world would see the Enforcers engulf the island. And in occasional worlds, life continued as normal. There was no storm, there were no husks, we had no reason to save the world. On the 4th of November 2018, everything we thought we knew was smashed when we took part in the butterfly event. For a moment, we transcended our own world and entered this in-between place of infinite possibilities. This scene was in reference to the Doctor Strange movie, in which he explores time and space in mere moments, and only the Rift Butterfly could return him to his own timeline. We experienced that too, and far too quickly we were brought back home. But the Visitor understood, and via those rift beacons began to bend time and space, bringing together multiple timelines. We saw Gotham City, we saw Starry Suburbs return. We knew this was a possibility thanks to Season 5 and those rift edges which saw Fortnite enter the real world, dragging Viking longboats and other items through time and back to the island. Midas was somehow able to remember this and attempted to break the storm cycle. And that led us to jump to another universe. And in this universe, it looks like Agent Jonesy is trying to find a way to communicate with us. This would explain why Jonesy was shooketh by our ability to hear him, but it was taken away from us before we could ask questions. Right, I don't want to go too far now. We don't have the answers, but each of these theories are open to so many possibilities. I would love to know your thoughts, and if you think any of these theories are true. If you do, let's try and answer every question we can. Like, how does Save the World tie into this? Who are the 7 and how are they being revealed? And those Enforcers, I still don't know why they vanished. Thanks to everyone who offered their theories, which allowed me to make this video. Next time we'll break down the narrative of the island. But until then, I'll leave you with one important question. Is Agent Jonesy friend or foe? I'm Adam from PlayStation Grenade. It's been a pleasure. I'll see you next time.